Quebec's labor movement is gearing up ahead of the October election as it faces the prospect of another 4 years with limited influence in the provincial government. Almost 40% of workers in Quebec are unionized, yet the two parties leading in opinion polls are considered far from union-friendly. The governing Liberals triggered deep cuts in the health and education sectors early in their mandate. And while the coalition Avenir Quebec, which is first in the polls, has tempered its previously strident position against unions, that has not assuaged workers' concerns about the party's intentions if it obtains power. We have the Liberals on one side, they plunged us into austerity and attacked our members, said Mark Ranger, head of the Quebec branch of the Canadian Union of Public Employees. And the coalition has a disastrous agenda that wants to privatize everything. It's our job to mobilize our troops. While Quebec is known across Canada for its workers' penchant to take to the streets, Big Labor's influence has been declining for years, says Mona-José Gagnon, a professor of sociology at Université de Montréal, and an expert on organized labor. We barely even talk about unions in the media anymore, she said in an interview. It reflects the weakening, in general, of trade unionism. In Quebec's universities, professors with expertise on the labor movement who retire are not being replaced, Ms. Gagnon said. The union movement at the university is also in decline. Mr. Ranger rejects her assessment. At 40% unionized, the movement is in good shape, he said. But it has to continue to show its pertinence. Even though Mr. Ranger wants to battle the Liberals in the coalition, electoral rules limit his maneuvers. Third parties such as unions are forbidden from spending money to influence an election or from openly stumping on behalf of candidates during the official campaign period. Premier Philippe Couillard announced on Saturday the campaign will officially begin on August 23. Leaving Mr. Ranger and other labor leaders little time ahead of the October 1 election to remind people of the danger in voting for either the Liberals or the coalition. I think the law is too restrictive, Mr. Ranger said. Candidates can say whatever they want, journalists and columnists can take positions. But unions are told to stay away from politics. Shut up, you're not invited. But I think we are invited, and we should participate in this debate. Mr. Ranger's union and other labor groups have targeted 14 ridings where they think they can prevent the Liberals or coalition from winning, and will instead direct their efforts toward helping members of the Parti Québécois or the left-wing Quebec Solidaire be elected. Unions can hold news conferences and individual members can volunteer their time to make calls or ring doorbells, but that's pretty much all they can do, Mr. Ranger said. Despite the alleged decline in union influence, however, Quebecers are not shy about mobilizing in order to pressure politicians. In 2012, hundreds of thousands of people took to the streets to support university students who rejected increases in tuition. The Liberal government lost that year's election to the Parti Québécois, which had promised to cancel the planned increase and bring back social peace. Most recently, federal Conservative MP Maxime Bernier learned about the union movement the hard way when he went up against the province's farmers in demanding an end to the supply management system, which controls the price and volume of products such as dairy and poultry. Jacques Roy, a dairy farmer south of Quebec City, launched an anti-Bernier Facebook group that quickly grew to 10,000 members. He persuaded people across the province to buy memberships in the Tory party and vote for Mr. Bernier's rival, Andrew Scheer, who won. It worked very well, Mr. Roy said in an interview. As for the coalition, its 2018 platform does not include past promises considered anti-union, such as forcing workers to have a secret ballot when deciding whether to form or to maintain a union. The party also wanted to legally force unions to release their financial information. Party spokesman Ewan Sauvé confirmed those policies are no longer in the 2018 platform, yet they remain objectives we hope to achieve. The two parties traditionally closer to unions are the Parti Québécois and Quebec Solidaire, even though past PQ governments have also slashed public spending to reduce the province's debt. Parti Québécois leader Jean-François Lisée has positioned his party as the big government choice for voters, pledging to increase public financing in hospitals, schools and other services. His party's platform includes the long-held demand by unions, a $15 minimum wage. The PQ also wants to create a social contract between work and capital that encourages worker participation in the benefits and governance of companies.